Hello? There we go? Okay, there we go. Mikey back. Let's get this going. Let's get going. Turn on that. Turn on that. Turn off that. And let's get to going! First order of business, I shimmered a life crystal. Eat that real quick. Okay, so I wanted to make obsidian shield, yeah, but I also want to get crimson mimic. I want to get the dart gun. In order to do that, I have to find crimson mimics first of all, and to do that, I'm gonna buy some battle potions. Simple solution, I'd say. Actually, that would probably be something good to sell, cause it is a relic. I got 1 gold for that. That's what I thought. Yo, game, can you not lag? That'd be appreciated. Want to lag again? Game out. Shouldn't be anything. Huh. I don't know. Hopefully it'll warm up and get better as the stream goes on. Does this thing have an upgrade? It does not. Okay, well, that's sad. Yes, that's the end of the F4A1 shenanigans. FYI, this is gonna be my last stream before I start my new job. Orientation is on Tuesday. Very exciting. I can get money and get games and have a better streaming experience with y'all, and recording and YouTube and all that jazz. Now the frame rate's getting better. I was wondering if it would be like that. Oh, what the heck? I turn that up a little bit. Turn my mic up a little bit. I've got a notification. Ah, okay. Shoots. Let's go to the left side of the world, which is where the crimson is. And drink the battle potion. Hopefully we can find ourselves a crimson mimic. Okay, you're not... Oh, mimic. Oh, hi, demon. Oh, hi, skeleton. Wait, what the heck? Why did I just get specters? The heck was that? Is that a... Did they give a buff to the, Onyx Blaster? That I don't know about? Shadow Fruit. Oh! That a buff to the demon, the Onyx Blaster that I didn't know about? Yo, that's fire. I'm so happy. Because the Onyx Blaster is one of my favorite weapons, even though it's not that good. Oh, Demon Scythe. Hello there. I want to get more crimson enemies, if that is fine with you, game. So I'm gonna head up here. Oh, hi, Granite Biome. How you doing? I don't want granite enemies. I want crimson enemies. So I'd appreciate if they would spawn. And a space. Okay, I think I see a space with a wide open area. Just have to get there first. You not, thank you. Ooh, Ichor sticker. I might want to collect that Ichor. Okay, there's also an Ichor sticker there I might want to deal with. Oh, it does 0.9x damage to the explosion to these guys. Guess that would make sense. Do the fucking big kick. Oh wait, I just realized since I have my new headphones back, so like my perspective is a little delayed based on the game audio. That's kind of annoying. So it won't be as satisfying. Because you guys won't hear me doing it at the perfect timing. I want your Ichor and then I leave. Wait, blood mummies can spawn down here? Wait, what? Really? Hey Skellington, what do you have? Anything new in shop that I'd be interested in? A calcite wand. Don't care. Sorry. Oh, what the heck are you? Why are you here? Hello? Scolder. Oh, I thank you for freeing my mistress from her sorrow. But now without her, what is my purpose? I do not yet feel fulfilled. If only I could have a token of her as object of remembrance. What would a meaningless protector offer in ways of discussion? Perhaps I may tell you about my past life. No, it's nothing but a blur now. Octavia resurrected me and kept my withering body moving for so long. I have lost my old self. I'm barely an undead anymore, more so a spirit. But don't pity me. I enjoyed my time with her and it made me feel like I had a purpose. Okay. I have to give him a token of some sort? I don't know how I would do that. I mean, if I have something, I would give it to you, but I don't think I do, bud. I'm sorry. Stupid hurtlings, I hate you. Old chicken chest, I don't want that sort of chest, I want... Really? Ow. Give me more souls tonight and Ichor. Oh! Oh, that's cool. That's fun. Wait, if I can course them and get killed by the lava. Oh, Rune Wizard! Oh, yo, that's cool! Don't know if I have any use for them, though, sadly. Can you, like, teleport down here? Thank you. Oh my god, you do a lot of damage. Why do you do so much damage? It concerns me a lot. I heard a ding. Is that a mimic? Oh, it's just an armored skeleton. Boo. I was hoping it was a Mimic, but it was not. Wait, I see something over here that I'm curious about. That is not your normal debris. Oh yeah, there's a lot, yeah. That's what I thought. That's not normal at all. Is Whitehander Hill Sunset Helm? Comes from an Ashen world. Well, that's not concerning at all. Mimic! Regular Mimic, yay! But it's only a regular one. No. I don't know if I could take on a regular Biome Mimic in this area, so that's a thing, I guess. What do I get? Philosopher's Stone? Okay. Make the charm a miss. Always a good accessory to have. Hi, Icar Sticker. Ow. Okay, yeah, that was close. I didn't deal with the Crimsline's easier. I heard a ding, what was that? There wasn't a Mimic, was it? Ow. Potion, save me. I need a, like, explosion thing. Just need to bomb everything. Said every terrorist ever. I heard a ding. Is that from this guy? I don't think that gives a ding though. Oh, it's the armored skeleton. I see it over there. Frick you, armored skeleton. The only way to reliably beat Icar Stickers is to kill it before it can even fire something. Like, hit it before it fires, and then it's basically stun locked. Ow. Oh, that's not desirable. Yeah, fighting two Icar Stickers at once is not a good idea. Luckily, I don't have to, because I'm smart. Okay, this is getting dicey. Very dicey moment. What's digging? Oh, it's a guard. Okay, that thing just killed itself. That's cool, I guess. Oh crap, no, 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 not the flies. Not the flies. That is the most annoying feature. Why do you add that in Mod Redemption? Why did you add that? Like, it doesn't even serve that much of a purpose either. It's just annoying. It's fuck. Oh, you're a mimic. I'm just gonna hang out over the lava, yeah. That'll do. Have fun burning to death. Another philosopher's stone? I mean, it's menacing, but still. Kind of annoying. Not gonna lie. I just need to kill one. Actually, I can just summon him with the amount of souls and night I'm getting. Well, only summon one. That's all I really need because I can buy the rest, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna kill these last two acre stickers. Ow. Screw you. Screw you. Screw you. Oh, hi, Tim. How you doing? Can you get out of the way, Tim? I am kind of dealing with something, Tim. Where are you going? You taking me on an adventure? What the heck? Okay, I think I am out of here. Okay. Hi, Daryl. How you doing, Daryl? Okay. 73 acre, that's pretty good, I'd say. Very successful, yes. Very successful run. Menacing Charmist, nice. Okay, can I shimmer the remaining Philosopher's Stone I got? That would be cool. I cannot. Frick me. I'm sad now. Well, whatever. I still have to make wings. I completely forget to do that. I do need to craft a key. What the heck? I did not press that! What the fuck? Game. Why? Let me switch items. Oh my god. Becoming a little annoying. Key. That's not... I don't want shimmer. Key of night. To make a chest. Rando chest. Okay, let's fight this boy. Patamimok. Stand a little back. Sorry, buddy. Let's go up here, shall we? I appreciate to get the dart pistol from ya. Hi, slime. How you doing? I shall deal with the slime myself. Channel Grievous moment. Oh crap! Not prepared for that. Yay, dart pistol! Yay! Don't have any darts yet. No. Okay. I can make some ichor bullets, I think. Ichor. Do I need to make 4,000. Oh, ichor bullet situation is handled. Not to make ichor bullet. Not ichor bullet. Ichor dart situation is handled. Not to make ichor bullets. Witch doctor am I? The witch doctor I am. Wait. Oh, bees become passive. Huh. Interesting. I read that wrong though. Anyway, Deviant is who I need to find. Of course, Deviant's up there. I need your mimic, your crimson mimic summoning item. I want to get flesh knuckles. I love the defense. Throw Misc. You know what? Come here. Yeah. Get over here. I am. Like, wow. Fortunately, I cannot use these to try to destroy the curse darts to try to destroy her, but these will inflict ichor, which is cool, I guess. I'll make crystal bullets and just have ichor darts. Probably what I'm gonna do. Yeah, that's a plan. One damage, oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna fucking die. Again, really? Oh, dang it, I could've played ping pong with it. Okay, really? You just gonna come charging out of the gate? Mean? Yeah, hit it while it's jumping. Yay. I've learned to aim. You did. I don't want the Ted Bagnags. Oh my god, they nerfed my boy. What? They nerfed it so hard. Oh man, I feel bad. Like, what? That's so sad. Oh my god. I love that weapon back in 1.3. They nerfed it so hard, man. Ping pong! Nah! Cool ping pong moment, though. Wait, what? Why are green slimes on tanky all of a sudden? Look at the buffs that slimes get when they enter hard mode, it's insane. And they get given them a buff, but like, they actually can be a threat, surprisingly. Like, in the boss fights, they can actually kind of do some damage. We're not paying attention to them. Get back here, bud. Ping pong. No, couldn't go for the 3. Again? Ping pong? No ping pong, okay. Bro said no ping pong. Oh, ping pong? No more ping pong. Sad. Flash Knuckles? Let's head back! Okay, no more Flash Knuckles, I guess. Not spending any more money on that. Okay, should I head over to the jungle? I think that is a plan. Though I should probably get wings first, that would probably be a good idea. I'm not smart, so I'm not gonna do it. Though what I am gonna do is get, what was I gonna get? I forgot what I was gonna get already. Oh yeah, I was gonna reforge, where's the Goblin Tinker? Oh, he's way over there. Why is he gonna reforge my Onyx Blaster? Like, why are you all the way over there? Weird goblin. No. Murderous? Maybe. Intimidating? Nah. Nah. Sure, I'll take Murderous, I guess. Recording. Don't need melee speed, sorry. Quick is good. I'll try. EC, no. Lucky, I guess I'll take that. Major Emblem. I'm gonna take that, I guess. Okay. Let's head off with my murderous Onyx Blaster in tow. Bang. Off to the jungle, the wonderful jungle of Oz. Okay, good. The jungle has not been affected. I'm out to find a wife route. Okay, you still do a good amount of damage. I don't like that. Okay, hi Hacksaw Jungle Slime. Welcome to the jungle. Hello. How many life bars have grown since hard mode? Oh, there's a water purple there. Oh, underground hollow. I see. We're also underground hollow. Interesting. Wait, was that a moth? No, it was not. It was a hornet. I'm blind. Don't wait for it to spawn immediately after entering hard mode. Well, they grow immediately. Well, that's sad, I guess. Guard break, whatever. I guess I could go try and fight Queen Slime. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to teleport. Guessing this is where the hollow is. Do I have another jungle hollow? Where's my hollow? Usually I have my map update. I don't know why it isn't here. Oh! Hi, Destroyer! How are you doing? Okay, you want this? Okay, I don't even have wings yet, but we can try it out, I guess. Well, it is gonna be interesting. I don't know if I'm ready, but I know for sure my NPCs are not ready. Does this stack? I think it does stack. Oh, that's nice. Okay, Destroyer. What? Oh, and there's werewolves out. Okay, well. So damage, that's what it is. Yeah, it is a mod thing. Hi. But, okay. Destroyer, where are you? I guess I'm ready for ya. Destroyer! Where is you? There's you are. Oh yeah, he's immune to Ichor. Oh, well, that's fun. I don't have much defense. Might use the dart pistol anyway, just... Unless I don't have to aim, really. Urhun's Cross maybe have been helpful here. Okay, I'm gonna try and equip it. Not for Obsidian Shield, for you. Yeah, that's gonna be helpful. This hurts a good amount. I really do not like these probes. Kill the frickin' probes. I dodged right into the laser. What am I doing? I can win this. Oh, that got close. I should probably get out of the cycle of looping. I should probably get rid of these probes. They're going to be a bit of a menace. One ghost cycle is done. Okay. Okay. Little feisty there, aren't ya, Mr. Destroyer? I'd like you to calm down and stop it. Take a chill pill. It's not good for your health to be angsty all the time. Okay, maybe you should start worrying about the lasers. This has been a pretty long fight. Okay, I need hearts. It's over. Well, I was not planning on being the destroyer, but I did it. And make sure that counts for something, I guess. Oh, it's raining, so I guess I head over to the ice biome now. Oh yeah, I can make the Mega Shark now. Do that. That's also pretty cool. But I want to get ice frost cores first. I also think this laser thing might be helpful against the ice golem. Considering the most annoying thing about him is the lasers, I think having something that can affect him will come in handy. Hi, werewolf. And drop the moon charm for me? No, you're just gonna damage me some more. I see. Yeah, you're not even gonna drop me the moon charm. Figured as much. Okay, so I'll say, like, how did the bats dodge all of that? But it didn't. That's the catch. Baddies die. Ice Golem! I need to find you. Need to somehow find a way to... Where are the ice golems? Oh, another Eldritch Root. I don't need you. No moon charm. No moon charm, and I don't need a skeleton flag bearer either. Yeah, that's right, you run away. That guy called Moonflare Caster? Do I still have those battle potions? No, I do not. Okay, whatever. I really only need to defeat one. Or more to show for, to get the drop, like the core thing from the Deviant. Frost Feather would also be nice. What's it lagging all of a sudden? I can tell it's officially daytime now, since the slime's gone out. Where are the ice golems at? That's all I really care about, to be honest. Don't care about any other mob. Not mod. Hi, flying fish. You're not an ice golem. You're not an ice golem either. Playing ping pong with those things never get old. I heard something. I swear I heard a ding. Like an ice golem ding. I swear I heard an ice golem ding. Guess I'm hearing things. Weird. What the heck are you? Oh yeah, Android. Once androids. Forgot about those things being a thing. I should take your plating. I guess I can see if I can mine the stuff in the ship with titanium. I doubt I can, but it's worth a shot, I guess. And that's what I thought. Also, what are you? A forret? Not a ferret. Not a ferret either. A forret. Yeah, sure. Oh, you don't drop anything. I feel bad now. You're just a critter. Oh no. Devs, I guess. Where the Blizzard boys at? Here's Mr. Ice Golem at. I'm gonna say I want Ice Golem. Is it over? No, the Wither's not over. I almost thought it was for a second. It is very much not over. Ah! Ah! I hate this fight so much. Thank you, Laser, for helping me so much. I think the Dart Pistol is the way to go. Just Hail Mary it. Oh, what the? Why'd that noise scare me so much? Stop it! Oh fuck, I'm frozen. That, oh fuck. Oh fuck. No, no, not like this. Potion. Okay. I'm still alive. Why is there so many enemies? Fuck! Just need to kill one! Ah! Blocks, where's blocks? Ah! 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 Wait. I can hit stuff through blocks, right? Nope, okay. Okay, how am I gonna do this? What do I have that can damage him? Nothing, got it. Okay. Well. I'm gonna do this. No, come back. Come back. Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck was that? What the fuck? That scared me. Why are these mechs doing that? One dropped a capacitor? I'm gonna test something. I feel like this guy can go in 2-block wide gaps, so I'm gonna try doing this. I am being very mischievous. Oh wait, I want it 2 blocks wide. Well, 3 blocks wide will work for my purpose, I guess. Okay, Herplings can get in here. Yes! Mwahaha! And it can't go in 2 block wide gaps, so I just... Get Minecraft is on! Get blocked! Yeah! Get owned, Ice Golem! Get owned! Ha! What you gonna do? Nothing! That's right! Mwahaha! Oh my god. I feel so smart. Okay, what does capacitors do? God. Capacitors make molten scraps and the Xenium smelter. I can't get Xenium stuff yet. Why is it giving me this stuff? I want plutonium. I like that. I need Xenium stuff. How do I get Xenium? Blast battery and other range stuff I can't get Xenium from. Titanium or uranium railgun, I can't get uranium. Card picks out of mine, yeah I know. Plutonium bomb. Circuit, what is anything else in circuit? Cyber radio? Okay, I can make that, I guess. So I have all the mechs. Nanoswarmer. Carbon microfiber, Extanium, yep. Oversized screwdriver. Corrupted Dan. So I make the Dan. Oh yeah, it's. I'm thinking. I can't think. Can't think. Remember, there was a bomb or something you could make that's like a nuke, a literal nuke. Not that kind of nuke. I meant like an actual nuke that makes a biome. I swear, where's the bomb? Not that what kind of bomb again. Energy station, comment, no, I can't find it, whatever. Flaky, get out of here. Get the freak out of here. Okay, well, it's time to make a similar trap to that again. But this time on the surface. And it should be good enough of a trap, and height-wise. You're not getting out of here, buddy. Ice Golem, you're gonna die. I need one for me to go into, I forgot about that. Okay, Deviant, I need your frost cores. Core of the frost core. Okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. Get trapped, idiot. No, this is big brain. Second frost core, let's get the third one. Mwahaha. Such an idiot! That's how you beat a frickin' frost golem here. Just dig a big pit. Have on to it. That simple. Okay, well I guess I get no Frost Feather, but I get my 3 Frost Cores. And with these treasures, I summon. Kidding. Frost Armor. Am I stupid? Am I stupid? Don't tell me Frost Core is... Just use regular titanium. I thought they used the armor. I'm so confused. Some recipe... I swear. There must be a mod that changed it or something. Oh yeah, they just use regular titanium, of course. Yeah. Makes sense. Annoying, but... It's... I can just... do that. And now I can make the Frost Armor. Frost Helmet. Frost Breastplate. And Frost Leggings. Yay. So now I got double debuff. And now I should go down and farm the crystal shards. Unless... Actually, I don't even need to farm crystal shards, I'm an idiot. Use the crystal shards... duplication technique. You get platform though. That's how you get money as well. Platform. I have tons of obsidian ones. Of course I do. Okay, so place one here. So block here. Anvil. An anvil. Pickaxe that. I need a hammer. I need a hammer. Hammer is what I need. Iron Realm hammer? Why not? That's hammer power, right? Yeah, that's hammer power. Make the Iron Realm hammer. Need to make this one. That scared me. Not gonna lie, that scared me a lot. Especially because the noise was so dang loud. I'll do it again. What am I missing? Oh crap, man, I did. Google or YouTube, how do I do the crystal shard glitch? No, that's not what I... Crystal shard glitch Terraria. Ah, there's a different form apparently of it. So I dig a 4x4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put. Wait, that's not. That was not 4. What am I talking about? That one didn't get mined. Put 2 platforms down. To hammer. That one. Why is the hammer not working? Oh, I think I know. That hammer is kind of annoying me, not gonna lie though. Is he annoying me a lot? Frick, okay. I've already screwed up, haven't I? I hate doing this glitch. Now I do, at least. How do I do this glitch? How do I do this glitch? I'm just not able to use... Why is there an ice slime here? Hi? I didn't summon an ice slime! Why are you here? Ah, I see what I have to do. But why are you here? Why are you here? Like, why? So I need to hammer that guy twice. Oh wait, first I have to not place this last one down. One, two, place this down, and then there we go. Took a bit, but I got it. That was a bit annoying. Empty bullet casings from Mr. Arms Dealer. I'll take the total coins, why not? I think that's enough bullet casings. Pretty sure all I need is those in crystal shard, but I'm gonna double check at the guide. Do not make... Oh my god, I'm stupid, aren't I? I have lost people trying to now. Well, I'm stupid. Yes, you just use regular musket balls or something to make crystal bullets? Yeah, okay. Well, whatever. Just buy 3,996 more bullets on this guy. Oh wait, that's right. Where's crystal bullets? Crystal bullets. Tiring these. How many shark fins on? Shark. No, I haven't made shark. I'm just gonna look up that, I guess. past the guide. What do I need to upgrade my user? I can buy it from the operator. I thought so. I need illegal gun parts. Get those merchant, of course. Boom. Where's... What are... A blobble? Where are you? Why is there a blobble? What will a blobble do? What's a blobble? What the fuck's a blobble? Huh? What? Blobble? Blobble, blobble, blobble. Sounds like a Pokemon. Freaking sounds like a Pokemon. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, I feel bad, but also kinda don't. Okay, I should be able to make Mega Shark Peacemaker. A gun? A hallowed gun? Count me in. Peacemaker. The fuck is the gimmick of this thing? Oh, it's the hallowed gun, like the frickin' Knight's gun. I see what they're doing here. Let me guess, this is gonna make the frickin' Terra gun. Or true, I can make true, yeah, I can make a true Peacemaker. Yeah, and then we're gonna make the, yeah, yep. That makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. I guess it's time to get more Souls of Night and Light. Actually, I can just buy them. I'm an idiot. Idoid me, Idoid. Ha ha ha, I'm Idoid. That's my name now. What was getting hit? What just got killed? I heard something in the background get killed. What the heck? What got killed? Souls of Night, buy like 30 of them. I died 31, whatever. 31, just to make it even. Can I make one of these summoning items? I can make a mechanical skull. What am I missing for the eye, though? Do I not have any lens? Do I need to kill more eyes? I feel like I have to kill more eyes. Actually, I wonder if I can get them from you. I bet I can, and I will collect! Ha ha ha! That was not what I was missing? What am I missing then? Am I missing? Do I need more iron? Bars? Is that what I need? There's no way it costs more to make them. That can't. Oh my god, that was what I was missing. How much night is left? Because I might face a twins, man. Yeah, we got a good amount of night. Let's face twins. Let's fight twins. Let's fight twins. Oh my god, aim. Oh, I don't even have wings. What am I doing? Why am I fighting with no wings? Holy crap. This was stupid. Am I doing a wingless run? What am I doing? I'm fucking stupid. What am I doing? Oh, fuck. Nurse? Nurse? Thank you. No way I have a chance at this, right? Okay, maybe I have a chance. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, I can actually win this. No way. No way I'm actually gonna win this against the freaking twins. I'm actually gonna do it. This gives, you know what? This is a sign. I'm doing Skeletron Prime no wings. Get wrecked! Ha! No match for me. Let's just get straight into the Skeleton Prime fight. I doubt I can be in the amount of time I have, but if I can, that would be awesome. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Okay. That's annoying. Shukathu, really? Shield of Cthulhu sold. Well, I feel like I might want to get wings. But if I'm gonna do... Might want to get the flesh knuckles. If I'm gonna be doing wingless, I might as well do this. Not a dart pistol. I want myself. Give me the flesh knuckles, please. Thank you, Brave Confusion. Tendon hook, really? I guess, yeah, that is a pretty good hook, actually. But that's not what I want. Give me... flash knuckles, please. Don't want to have to use any more money if I don't have to. No, not the life drain. Everything except the thing I wanted. And that's how you fight a Crimson Mimic. Crystal bolts are really good with this strategy, actually. You fucking with me? Give me the frickin' blah, blah, blah. Give me the blah, 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 yeah. Give me that. Give me the flesh knuckles. Finally! Ugh. Took too long. Too long, I tell ya. Pretty sure I have to combine that with a Paladin Shield, which I don't really want to do. Which I can't really do, actually. Oh, Berserker's Glove, I guess. Yeah, Paladin Shield and that. Okay. All the defense. It's menacing, nice. I'm gonna reforge some stuff to quick, I think. You will be quick. Yeah. You're menacing. You can be quick. Oh, I got it. Quick. Quick. Okay, well. Anything else I could use? Oh, I probably can buy some potions. I wonder if there's any potions I can buy. Not you. You. Any mod/calamity potions? Like something I don't have? Not buying the Discord potion, sorry, that's a little cheating. Do I have the Fortitude potion? Don't think I have the Fortitude potion. I might want to get those, so that way I can use the other accessory in the Obsidian Shield. Utility potion, yeah. That's probably a good call to get. And Titan Skin. Okay, what accessory do I want to use? I know. But to fight regular mimics now instead of crimson ones. Fun. Want to get the cross necklace and star cloak and yeah. Yes. Star Veil. That's what I want to get. Why are those rarer than actual mimics? I don't get it. And corrupt mimics. Alright. Oh, you're out there. That's why you are. Philosopher's Stone, not what I need. Not what I need! I don't need the Philosopher's Stone, okay? Dual hook is not what I need either! I swear, these are not shimmerable. Oh, fuck. Okay, I got one of them. Now I just need the cross necklace. Please. Haha! Yeah! And that's some luck. Oh yeah, I could just use a turn miss too. Do I want to use a turn miss or do I want to use a star veil? I want to use a star veil. Crystal shards do holy damage? No. Sacred. Oh. If only that frickin' gun. Only the Peacemaker did holy damage. But it does not. It's kinda dumb, but. Wait, did I not open the Skeletron treasure bag? Oh, the Twins treasure bag? No, I did, I guess. Oh, yeah, of course I did. I'm stupid. I'm gonna have to reforge that, but whatever. Why is the goblin always out here by the Crimson? Do you have like an affinity to the Crimson or something? Concerning me a little bit. It's sleepy time, and then boss fight time. I'm going to defeat these mech bosses. No wings. I will do it! I will. Thank you. A boss I'm missing out on Queen Slime? Nope. Okay. This is gonna be a hard fight, but I can do it. Enchanted Moon? Nurse, where are you going? Stupid idiot. I'm back, Mr. Prime. And you ain't gonna do any damage to me this time. You are the biggest deal. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Oh. That was not good. Oh. Just don't automatically dash like you're used to doing. One laser's down. That's the big one. That's the big one. Okay. Can kind of relax a bit. Device is down too. Everything's pretty much down except for the saw. Oh my god, I got lucky there. Thank you, invincibility frames and Grand Confusion. It's over! Yay! Laboratory's defense systems have malfunctioned. Interesting. Now I should be able to upgrade my old gun. Upgrade to... where's my... oh, there's my ice metal. Make... or not make... the Knight's Metal? I thought all you need was the souls. Knights... is there something else I'm missing here? There's gotta be something I'm missing here. Should have all of them. Do I not have enough souls of might? That could be it. Nope, that's it. Not enough souls of might. I should make a pickaxe axe first. Annoying, really. But, on that, a meteorite is landed, whatever. Don't really care that much. Yeah, at least 8. Nice. Okay, 9 just in case. The True Knight's Medal! That it's Cursed Flames and Frostburn now. Okay, yeah, I was debating on whether I should change for armors. That is decided. I am not changing armors. And where's Mr. Not here. Must not be here. Okay. I have to add another few houses. Wait a second. What's it gonna do? Yeah, I was gonna make a house. I need more wood. I can do that though. So many birds in that pit. Weird birds. Oh! Okay. That does a lot of damage. Instantly regrew, huh? 500 wood should be enough for my purposes. Well, the shots are also way more focused, which is very helpful. You can kill a zombie, right? Sorry, you're all getting evicted. For a time at least. Until I put down back the only stores. I think that should do. Oh yeah, piggy bank. Probably should place that down. What I need is you. Need to buy stuff from ya. Why not? Anyway, what I was here to do is collect. I already have most of those. Okay. Make armor bracing, make medicated bandage, make plan, make counter curse mantra. What am I missing? What am I missing here? I need reflective shades. Oh, I didn't get the pocket mirror or blindfold. Ankh charm. Ankh shield. Material? It's a material for something. Oh, I'm intrigued. I am very intrigued. Guide? Please tell me it's not just like a... It's like this other cover recipe. What? Why does it say it's a material? Stupid. Stupid. obsidian. Which I need to make an obsidian skull. There's more goods. Those are not material either, or whatever. I need more souls and mechanical bosses, I guess. No, like 10 of each. Wait, that's not. Then I have to fight Queen Slime, and then I end the stream because I'm at a stopping point after that. Ender Emblem. Wait, why am I getting an Avenger Emblem? I don't need... Oh, for the Destroyer, I guess, but... I'll keep it off for now. I still haven't got wings. Forget about wings. I want to get Frost Wings. I'm gonna buy a few more of these things. Hopefully get a frost, frozen feather, frost feather, whatever. Come over here, bud. Oh, you're stupid, huh? Okay, so this is a pretty good gun. Oh, well, that's Frost Feather. Don't even need to make another one of them. Nice. As I thought, I don't have enough money. Oh, I don't have enough souls of light to make other stuff. Frozen Wings. Can finally fly. Okay, well, Reforge stuff is going tinker, and then it's stream ended. Wow, nice. Haha, nice. Perfect.